Good afternoon. This is the matter of JM, ZM, and NJ. Case numbers 25-50630 NA through 25-50632 NA. Present in the virtual courtroom, we have Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Scott Vanderhoek. We have the children's attorney, Ms. Weddle. We have Mother Brittany Jackson, her attorney, Brent Green, father of NB, Mr. Brandow, his attorney, Julie Kennedy, Lindsay Dubas, who is representing Mr. Michael, the other father, various agency workers. And I think I covered everybody. All right, Ms. Weddle.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to call Faith Wasink, please.
All right, Ms. Wasink, if you would unmute. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, and would you spell your name for the record?
Faith, or Faith, last name Wassink.
All right, Ms. Weddle.
Thank you. Ms. Wasink, where are you employed and what is your position?
I am a foster care case manager at Wellspring Lutheran Services.
Okay, and you've been on this case, I believe, for multiple reporting periods?
Yes, since August of 2025.
Okay, and you've prepared and collected reports?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would like to mark and move to admit several exhibits.
All right.
As Exhibit 1, the case service plan with the parent agency treatment plan dated April 9th of 2026. As Exhibit 2, it's a Kaya counseling report for Brittany Jackson. As Exhibit 3, a judgment of sentence and order of probation for Brittany Jackson dated 12/18/2025. As Exhibit 4, it's a CMH therapy letter for ZM dated March 3rd, 2026. As Exhibit 5, a Samaritas trauma assessment for JM dated January 27th of 2026. As Exhibit 6, a EFC individual service agreement for JM dated March 10, 2026. As Exhibit 7, a Granville Public Schools social worker letter for JM dated April 15th of 2026. As Exhibit 8, an Arbor Circle discharge summary for JM dated March 30th of 2026. As Exhibit 9, a DNA test for NJ and Mr. J.O. Brandeo.
Any objection?
No objection.
No objection.
All right, they're all admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. In regards to the children, Ms. Wasink, they're ages 10, 6, and 1, correct?
Correct.
We'll get into the specifics in a moment, but ZM and NJ are with a maternal uncle and aunt, correct?
Correct.
Have you completed assessment on that home?
Yes.
Have you found it appropriate?
Yes.
Are there any safety concerns?
No, there are not.
Are they able to meet the needs of those children?
Yes, they are.
JM was previously placed there, correct?
Yes.
And he moved due to sexual behaviors?
Correct.
And where is he currently placed?
He is currently placed with his maternal grandmother.
Okay. And this is his 5th placement since coming into care, correct?
Correct.
And he recently moved, was it a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, about a month ago on March 24.
March 24, okay. And his placement changes have occurred due to his sexual behaviors, extreme behaviors, and safety concerns, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Due to those behaviors, he was assessed for residential but denied, correct?
Correct.
Let's talk about NJ. Is she in school or daycare?
No, she is not. Her caregiver stays at home with her.
Okay. And then ZM, in terms of his schooling, what grade is he in?
He is in kindergarten at Fuller Street Elementary.
How's school going for him?
It's going well. He is doing very well in school academically and behaviorally. Last I had heard, he was still just a little bit behind in reading, but nothing super concerning. And that's something that the caregivers are working on with him nightly.
Okay. And then I did see that he sometimes has challenges following instructions and working independently, correct?
Correct.
Speech, are you exploring therapy for him?
Yes, that is something we are looking into.
Okay, has any referrals been made?
No, not yet.
JM, let's talk about his education. Prior to coming into care, he had no in-person schooling, correct?
That is what I had previously believed. Based on my conversations with Ms. Jackson during this reporting period, he did attend kindergarten and started first grade at Diamonddale Elementary, but then was expelled due to his behaviors at school. And since then, he has been doing online schooling
Okay,
until this year.
okay. So when he came into care, he was enrolled in in-person school, correct?
Correct.
And he has significant challenges in school, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so he was previously in the 4th grade, correct?
Yes.
And socially, he was functioning as a kindergartner.
Yes.
When he came into care, he was placed into 4th grade because he had completed 3rd grade online, correct?
Correct.
And how was he functioning academically?
He was significantly behind, probably at about a 1st or 2nd grade level.
When he moved placements, he had to move schools, correct?
Correct.
And what grade was he placed in?
I had asked for him to be enrolled in 3rd grade, but the school said that they did not have room in their 3rd grade classroom, so he is in 4th grade, but I will be continuing conversations with them regarding whether it would be appropriate or not for him to move to 5th grade next year.
Thank you. And then he has numerous supports in schools. Can you please list those off quickly?
Yes, he does have an IEP. He receives social work services, speech therapy. At his previous school, he had a therapist at the school. I do not believe that is the case at this school. But again, he does still have the social work. He gets to take tests in a small group setting. Any assignments not designed to assess reading are read aloud to him. He gets periodic breaks as needed. I believe that is the majority of what is outlined in his IEP. At this time, he is still doing the half days at school, but the school has a plan in place to gradually increase the time he's at school until he's doing full days.
Okay.
Sorry,
So
Ms. Well, just to try to move it along, if we could just focus on what was not testified to at the last hearing, so any changes, maybe we can move this along, because I know I have another hearing and at least one of the attorneys does, so.
Okay.
Don't want to throw you off, but.
You did, but that's okay.
I'm
going
sorry.
to cover. Okay, so he has numerous services in place at school. He still has significant behaviors at school, correct?
Yes, it sounds like things have been going better at this school, but again, he has only been at the school for a short time, so we'll have to see how things are continuing to go.
Okay. Medical, dental, immunization, they're up to date. Any concerns?
Yes. No, not at this time. He does have an appointment scheduled to address some cavities and make sure that those get filled.
Okay. Is NJ also getting an autism screening?
Yes, through early on.
Okay. And now that you mentioned early on, will she be getting another assessment for speech delay?
Yes.
Let's talk about ZM. I'm not sure if it was testified to before or not, but his diagnoses, are you aware of his diagnoses?
Yes, I don't believe this was previously testified on. He was diagnosed with an unspecified trauma or stressor-related disorder, according to the letter I received from his therapist.
Okay. And excuse me, the court ordered a trauma assessment for him. Has that been scheduled?
Yes, it's scheduled for April 30th.
Okay. And he is in counseling.
Yes.
Let's talk about JM. I don't know that his diagnoses, because he had a trauma assessment. So what was his diagnoses?
According to the trauma assessment, his diagnoses are oppositional defiant disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and then a rule-out diagnosis of ADHD.
Okay. He is on medication, but there were some concerns that he wasn't, or it was discovered that he wasn't always taking his medication, correct?
Correct.
And now that's being closely monitored?
Yes, it is.
Okay. He continues to have extreme behaviors, correct?
Correct, but things have improved since he's moved to his maternal grandmother's home. He's really enjoying being placed there, and I think that's helping a lot just with his overall regulation.
He has numerous services, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we discussed his trauma assessment was included. Significant concerns in almost all areas.
Yes.
Okay, and in terms of the recommendations, you plan to implement the recommendations, the ones that are not already in place?
I do, although I may not implement them all immediately as he needs time to process through services, and I think he would get very overwhelmed if he were to do all of the services at once.
Okay. And you've previously listed his services. Has anything changed with his services?
His services have been transferred over to his local CMH. They have not changed, although I believe that some of the services for the SED waiver, such as the recreational therapy, are not yet in place due to a wait list and just the transitional period. But he is still completing enhanced foster care and trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay. There's safety plans in place for his sexual behaviors and extreme behaviors, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and monthly sibling visits are occurring.
correct.
Okay, there were a couple of CPS complaints regarding disclosures regarding events that occurred prior to him coming into care, correct?
Correct.
And were any of those substantiated?
No, they were not.
Ms. Jackson, anything else regarding the kids that I may have missed? Sorry, I went through that kind of quickly.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, Ms. Jackson.
I have one really quick question.
Okay,
My notes indicate that there was a neuropsych that was recommended and funding had been requested for JM. Has that been scheduled or completed?
It had been scheduled prior to his placement, but then due to him moving out of county, he wasn't able to complete that. And so then I am currently working with the CMH on rescheduling.
Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Weddle.
in terms of Ms. Jackson, she was released from incarceration over the reporting period, correct?
Correct.
How has her communication been?
Her communication has been great. She has been communicating in a timely manner, very respectful. We did have a little bit of difficulties at the beginning due to her phone not having very good service, but she did get a new phone and we are no longer having any difficulties.
Okay, has she obtained employment?
She has not obtained employment, but she is looking.
Okay, have you been able to verify her efforts?
I have not been able to verify yet.
But you can follow up on that.
Yes, I will.
Okay, and so she will be expected to obtain and maintain and provide verification, correct?
Correct.
And then you will also complete a budget with her?
Yes.
Housing, does she have housing?
Not at this time.
Have resources been provided?
Yes.
Okay, domestic relations. What is the status of her domestic relations?
She is single at this time. She is not in a relationship.
Okay, And a concern of this case was she was in a relationship with someone who abused their children. Have you been able to verify that there's been no contact?
Yes, the partner is incarcerated, the former partner is incarcerated and there is no contact.
And you did verify that?
Yes,
Okay. And she's expected to be honest about her relationships, correct?
correct.
I also saw prior DV. She'll be addressing that in therapy.
Yes.
Is there currently some type of PPO between her and Mr. Randale?
I have been told that there is, I have not received verification.
You can follow up on that.
Yes,
Okay. She will also be expected to address the child sexual abuse with her therapist.
yes.
Emotional stability, has she had a psych exam?
She has one scheduled for April 29.
And she'll be expected to follow the recommendations.
Correct.
Is she in therapy?
She is in therapy with Kaya Counseling.
Okay. How many sessions has she had?
I believe she is attending therapy weekly starting March 13. I haven't received verification for all of the sessions, but I did receive verification for at least 3. And if she has been attending every week, then she would have had 6 sessions so far.
Okay. Does she have a diagnosis?
I believe she was diagnosed with PTSD according to her therapist.
Okay. In terms of her parenting, what services has she been participating in?
She began trauma-informed parenting last week, Wednesday. I did confirm that she attended. That's an online class. I have completed a referral for foster care supportive visitation, and that should be starting by May 4 at the latest. I did look into parent management training Oregon model and parenting through change classes through the local CMH, but I believe JM's therapist needs to refer her, and so I have a phone call scheduled with the therapist to discuss that.
Visits. She's just visiting with JM and NJ, correct?
Correct.
And her probation prohibits contact with ZM for the duration of her probation, which is 3 years, correct?
Correct, although based on my discussions with the probation officer, if we feel that it's appropriate, then we can ask that it be lifted. However, she would need to demonstrate that she's making progress before that could potentially be granted.
And that's ultimately up to the judge, correct?
Correct.
Let's see here. I see that she declined her first visit and she was late for another visit.
Yes.
Okay, how do her visits go?
They go pretty well overall. She does especially well with Nikaya, and she engages really well with her. She does well with JJ as well, or I apologize, JM as well, NJ and JM. But she does, JM sometimes does need to seek her attention more frequently than NJ does. However, that's something that we've discussed, and I have seen improvement in visits since we've discussed that.
Okay. And JM has had behaviors following the visit, and correct?
Yes, especially particularly the first few visits. I don't believe he has been demonstrating those same behaviors since he's returned to, or since he's been placed with his maternal grandmother.
And then ZM, who is the child who is prohibited visits, the goal was not to have him to know about the visits, right?
That was the goal, yes.
Okay. But it's suspected that JM told him during a sibling visit, correct?
Correct.
And previously he did not inquire about her, but after that visit, he had some behaviors also, correct? I'm
Yes.
sorry, after
Or-
he was informed, he had
Yes.
behaviors. Okay. Anything else about her that I may have missed?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. In terms of the fathers, Mr. Michael is legal to JM and ZM?
Yes,
No communication and multiple reporting periods?
correct.
What are your efforts to engage with him?
Well, he's considered non-participating now, but I have still been reaching out to him about monthly to try and make contact. And I have also performed jail searches and have not been able to find him in the jails.
Okay. And the court previously suspended his parenting time, correct?
Correct.
Right. Mr. Brandeo, he took a DNA test, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Signed an AOP.
Correct.
Preliminary hearing was just held this morning, correct?
Correct.
And that petition was authorized, correct?
Correct.
Anything I may have missed in regards to the fathers?
No.
Okay. This is a PPA, so I have to ask you a couple of questions. Will return of the children to parents today be a substantial risk of harm to the children?
Yes.
And that is because,
They have not had contact with either of their fathers in significant time. In NJ's case, it's been her entire life, with the exception of some phone calls, I believe, prior to my becoming the case manager. They would also be in danger of physical abuse and sexual abuse, particularly if Miss Jackson were to begin another relationship. And there would be significant emotional distress, particularly on the part of Zayden, as he has not had any contact with I apologize, on the part of ZM, as he has not had any contact with Miss Jackson in quite some time.
okay. And failure to protect was also a concern in this case, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is it in the best interest of the children to terminate?
No, not at this time.
And why is that, despite zero progress in a year?
Miss Jackson was incarcerated and unable to participate in services for the majority of the case. Since she has been released, she has begun several services, including therapy and trauma-informed parenting classes, and has expressed willingness to participate in all the other services I have referred her for.
Has the placement followed the reasonable, prudent parenting standard, which basically means have they given the kids opportunities to be kids?
Yes.
Okay. What are your recommendations, Ms. Watson?
It is respectfully recommended that JM, ZM, and NJ remain temporary court wards under the care and supervision of the Department of Health and Human Services and Wellspring Lutheran Services, that JM, ZM, and Nakaya remain placed with a licensed foster home or appropriate relative home, that all parties comply with and benefit from their parent agency treatment plan, that Ms. Jackson's parenting time with JM and NJ be supervised by the agency or its designee, and that should the no contact order between Ms. Jackson and ZM be lifted, her parenting time with him be supervised by the agency or its designee as well. That Mr. Brandau have supervised parenting time by the agency or its designee. That Mr. Michael's parenting time be suspended until he engages with the agency, that the goal remain reunification, and that this matter be reviewed as required. And that the next hearing be a permanency planning hearing as well.
Okay. Okay. Are you also requesting that there be a no contact order put in place between JM and Mr. Brandeo?
Yes.
Okay. And are you requesting that I continue to be able to sign for documents for the children?
I do not believe that is necessary anymore, as Ms. Jackson is able to do so and is willing.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
I have just a few questions. Summing up a lot of the testimony that you've made regarding Ms. Jackson, basically her ability to begin services was stymied through her incarceration, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And since her release, which is just a short time ago, I believe you said that she's been engaged in services, including the trauma-informed parenting class, correct?
Correct.
All right. And parenting time thus far, the supervised parenting time, so it's been observed and noted by various parties, has gone well. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. Now I know you mentioned that she's still struggling with housing and employment. Based upon your experience, that's not uncommon for someone recently released from jail, is it?
Not based on my experience, no.
Okay. But she is seeking employment and trying to rectify the housing challenges, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions. Thank you, Ms. Wassing.
Thank you. Ms. Kennedy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Wasnick, I know I asked some of these questions earlier today, but for Mr. Brandeo, he is now able to be involved in this case. He hasn't had his adjudication yet, but he has had the prelim, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so what are the next steps for him?
That would involve supervised parenting time, and then I'll reach out to him regarding services, but that would include therapy, parenting classes, and those are the two I can think of off the top of my head.
Have you done an intake with him yet?
I have not, no.
Okay, so, I mean, technically, until he's found to be a respondent, he would be doing these things voluntarily, correct?
Correct.
And has he indicated to you throughout the time you've been speaking with him that he wants to be involved and he wants to get started on this stuff?
Yes.
Okay, so will you be following up with him and kind of just talking about what can happen between now and our next court date?
Yes.
Okay, and you have good contact information, you're able to get in touch with him?
Yes.
Okay, I don't believe anything else, thank you.
Ms. Dubus.
Yes, you indicated that Mr. Michael is technically considered non-participating at this point, correct?
Correct.
But you mentioned you still do try to reach out monthly.
Yes.
And will you continue to do that going forward?
Yes.
Okay, in the event he does make contact with you and indicates he would like to get involved, will you offer services to him at that time?
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Vanderkolk.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no questions.
All right, thank you. Any follow-up? Mr. Green.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Weddle.
Just a quick follow-up question. When you set up services for Mr. Brandeo, you will set up services that address the issues in the petition, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further.
All right. Let's see, where am I here? Ms. Dubus, any follow-up?
No, thank you.
All right. Mr. Green, any follow-up?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Kennedy, any follow-up?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Vanderkolk.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Any additional witnesses, Mr. Vanderkolk?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Weddle?
No, thank you.
Mr. Green?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Kennedy?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Ms. Dubus?
No.
All right. I will start with statements from Ms. Dubus because I know she needs to get to another hearing. Ms. Dubus, statement.
Your Honor, unfortunately, throughout basically the entirety of this case, I have not had communication with my client and I am unable to reach him. So I would just, at this point, just take no position.
All right. Thank you. And you're excused if you'd like to be excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Weddle.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have spent an enormous amount of time on this particular case, from attending meetings, wraparound clinical, FTMs, TDMs, medication reviews. I've been in communication with the workers, service providers, team members. I've reviewed and signed releases. I did have an opportunity to visit with NJ and Z, can't talk today, ZM. They both continue to do well in their placement. I did also have an opportunity to visit with JM during a med review over the reporting period. I'm looking forward to visiting him in his new placement over the next reporting period. He continues to struggle significantly, and he's making little to no progress due to his often refusal to engage. Now his services have to transfer, which is another stumbling block for him. Mr. Brandeo has had almost a year to establish paternity, and we literally just had the preliminary hearing this morning. I believe that the recommendations are appropriate, with the exception that I do believe that it's in the best interest of these children to obtain permanent stability and finality sooner rather than later. The case has been open for a year. Ms. Jackson has a lot of barriers. It's unfortunate that she's been incarcerated, but that's just a fact of this particular case. She's made no progress. The children are struggling. They have very high needs. One child is in his 5th placement, and he has behaviors surrounding parenting time. We have another child who is incapable of seeing her for the next 3 years. And he had behaviors after he was made aware that the other children were having parenting time. It's unacceptable for this case to remain open for 3 years. So I believe it's in the best interest to proceed to termination. If the court is inclined not to do that, I would respectfully request that the next hearing be made a permanency planning hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Green.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. I am extremely confident that my client will make tremendous progress, as now she does not face the barriers that were placed upon her and that I have mentioned on the record at several hearings, in terms of the communication challenges with getting materials during the jail, the challenges with her being able to work services while incarcerated. Yes, she's facing some challenges, but I think these are challenges that anyone who is released from incarceration will face. I stand extremely confident that she will move forward in a positive direction and still look forward to reunification, as I think that's appropriate. And I look forward to the next full hearing that addresses these matters, the next review hearing, as I'm confident this court and all parties will see tremendous efforts and accomplishments by Ms. Jackson. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Vanderkolk.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've listened to the recommendations, and I do believe that they are appropriate, so I would ask that the court follow them at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kennedy.
Thank you, Your Honor. On behalf of my client, Mr. Brandeo, he has, I believe, been around and been a part of these proceedings in a capacity that he can as a putative, a biological, and now a legal. He's cooperated with DNA testing, AOP. I think it was just the timing of when it could be verified that it was filed that brought the Sanders petition today. In all fairness, he does dispute the allegations. He has not had the opportunity to challenge those. That'll be coming in an adjudication that I know we've scheduled, but parties aren't aware of it yet. And so he does welcome the opportunity to do whatever supervised parenting time is going to happen, to getting to know his daughter. He has inquired about her. He has expressed interest in providing for her. He wants to be a part. So I ask the court to follow recommendations and allow him to start that supervised parenting time, and will dispute the allegations at the adjudication.
All right, thank you. The court finds that the lawyer guardian ad litem has complied with the requirements of the statute. That returning the children to a parent today would cause a substantial risk of harm to the children's life, physical health, or mental well-being. That the children should not be returned. That the agency should not initiate proceedings to terminate parental rights to the children at this time, because the mother has just recently been released from incarceration, and reasonable efforts have not been able to be made yet. And Mr. Brandau has just been made a legal father in this case. That reasonable efforts have been made to preserve or reunify the family, make it possible for these children to safely return home. That in accordance with the statute, progress towards alleviating or mitigating the conditions that cause the children to be placed or remain in temporary foster care has not been made by either Ms. Jackson or Mr. Michael. That each of the children's continued placement is necessary and appropriate, is meeting each of their individual needs. That the needs of each of these children can be met in a foster family home. That reasonable efforts have been made to finalize the court-approved permanency plan of return to a parent. That the permanency planning goal does continue to be appropriate at this time. That the department and foster home have followed the reasonable and prudent parenting standard, and the children have had regular opportunities to engage in age or developmentally appropriate activities. That the children are in not, or the siblings are not in joint placement due to JM's sexualized behaviors. That sibling contact is occurring according to law. That parenting time with Mr. Michael, even if supervised, may be harmful to the children. The court orders that the children continue in the protective and temporary custody of the court, continue their placement with the Department for Care and Supervision. For the adjudicated respondents, Ms. Jackson, Mr. Michael, comply with and benefit from the case service plan. The parenting time of Ms. Jackson be supervised until further order of the court. That the attorneys be continued in this matter. I'll continue the order that JM and NJ's foster parents ensure that the LGAL has in-person access to their children, and continue the order that if that does not happen, an alternative placement is immediately to be found. I'm glad to hear that that's going better, but that is very important. Let's see. That Mr. Brandau have no contact with JM. I will be appointing CASAs in this case. Our next hearing is an adjudication on Mr. Brandau on May 21st from 2 to 5. A permanency planning hearing will be held on July 16th at 9:30. And I'll just tell you, Ms. Jackson, I'm very happy that you've been released from incarceration, but you're on the fast track. You really need to hit the ground running, do everything that you're asked to do, participate in all services, participate in parenting time, do all of those things, because these kids are very traumatized. They've been waiting a long time. We're going to give you time so that you can participate and that reasonable efforts can be made, but it's up to you. Okay. All right. Is there anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right.